so that I would start from there. Everyone, what do you think about a verb?
Action.
Any
Okay,
action that has ever happened in the past or the present or will happen in the future.
okay, all right. Anyone else?
Verb is a word that
So, verbs are
Action
the
and
words
reaction.
which, yes, you are very right. Verbs are the words which describe or which tell us about an action that is going on or a state in which a person or a thing is. There are three things that a verb may tell us. First is the subject who is doing an action. Second, if the action is being done on the subject. And the third one is the state or, yes, the state in which the subject is. For example, if I am doing an action, I would say, I write letters. I is the subject, write is a verb, and letters is an object. If the action is being done on me, I may say, um, Harry is scolded. So it means this is someone else who is doing the action. Harry is the object and scolded is a verb. Harry is scolded. The window is broken. So this was someone else who does the action, but the action is being done on something. So this is another type in which the verb can describe an action. And the third thing is the state in which the person or a thing is. For example, the cat is dead. I feel sorry. I am happy. I am glad. I am sick, and so on. So this is how you may know about an action that is going on. So verb is a word that is used to tell or assert something about some person or a thing. It may tell you about an action that the subject is doing or an action that is done by the subject or on the subject, or it describes you about a state in which the subject is. So remember one thing, and I believe you all know that whenever we write a sentence, there has to be a subject, a verb, and an object. For example, I write letters. I is a subject, write is a verb, and letter is an object. But sometimes it does happen that the sentence gives its complete sense or its complete meaning, even if the object is missing from the sentence. For example, the girls were singing. So, girls is the subject, singing is an object. Singing is a verb, but the object is missing in the sentence. Still, the meaning is clear. You may also say, he laughs loudly. She speaks slowly. She writes slowly. So, in these examples, there is a subject in the sentence and there is a verb, but there is no object in the sentence. Rather, there is an adverb. So, the sentence may give you complete meaning even if the object is not present in the sentence. So, two types of sentences with verbs. Sometimes the verb may take an object, and sometimes a verb may not take an object. Still, it gives you a complete meaning. So, it means we can say that there are two types of verbs. One is transitive verbs, and other are intransitive verbs. So, what are these transitive and intransitive verbs? I believe you all can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So transitive verbs are those verbs which need an object. They are known as transitive verbs. And intransitive verbs are those verbs which give you complete meaning even if the object is not present in the sentence. Transitive example, they built a house. They is a subject, built is a verb, and house is an object. They enjoyed music. They is a subject, enjoyed is a verb, and music is an object. But if I change the subject, if I change the sentence, and if I say they enjoyed a lot, so they is a subject, enjoyed is a verb, and a lot is not an object but a complement. So in this way, it would be an example of intransitive verb. Similarly, he died. He is the subject, died is a verb, but still the meaning is quite clear, though the object is not present in the sentence. We slept, we laughed, and they cried. So again, these are the examples of intransitive verbs. I hope this is clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can see there are a few words which can be used as a transitive verb as well as an intransitive verb. For example, burn. Fire burnt his finger. Fire is a subject, burnt is a verb, and finger is an object. But if it is used as an intransitive verb, we may say fire burns. Fire is a subject and verb is burns. The meaning is quite clear even though the object is not present in the sentence.
मैम इसका मीनिंग
Then,
यही होता है ना, फायर बर्न्स इट कैन हर्ट यू, इसका ये मीनिंग मतलब बनता है.
yes, exactly, you are right. So another example is, let's say instead of Mohan, let's say Ali, let's say Sarah or whatever, wrote a letter to his brother. So the subject is present in the sentence, a verb is there, as well as an object is there. On the other side, this is Ram writes well. So the subject is there in the sentence, verb is there, but there is no such object, but still the meaning is clear. So in this way, this is an example of intransitive verb. Another thing about transitive and intransitive verbs that you must know is that sometimes a transitive verb has a direct object and sometimes it has an indirect object. Let me give you the proper definition of transitive verbs before I move on to the object part. A transitive verb is a verb that denotes an action which passes over from the doer or the subject to an object. ठीक है, जब आपके सब्जेक्ट से आपका एक्शन जो है वो ऑब्जेक्ट की तरफ जा रहा है, दिस इज अ ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. और ऐसे वर्ब्स जहां पे आपका एक्शन सब्जेक्ट से it is not being passed on to the object, that is known as an intransitive verb. Intransitive verbs, they also give you the state of being something. The baby sleeps. So this is a state of the subject, but the object is not present in the sentence. Still, it gives you complete meaning. This is an example of intransitive verb. Let me give you, yes. His father gave him a watch. Now you can see that there are two objects in this sentence. Basically, his father gave him a watch. This is a watch that has been given, and to whom it is given, this is to him. So there are two objects in this particular example. Then he told me a secret. If you forget me for a while and if you say he told a secret, it means he is a subject, told is a verb, and secret is an object. So to whom did he tell the secret? He told it to me. So me is an indirect object. So transitive verbs may have one object and they may have two objects in a sentence. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
जी बेटा.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it necessary कि indirect object हमेशा एक person ही हो?
No, it can be a thing also.
Ma'am, can you please
For
elaborate
example,
with some examples?
Yes. One of the examples is he cut his finger with a knife. So he cut his finger. His finger is a direct object, and with the
Yes, ma'am.
knife is another object which is not a person.
Ma'am, the knife would be the indirect.
Ji. Because
Okay,
he
thank you
cut
so much,
his
ma'am.
finger. Ji, you are most welcome. Now again, these are the examples of a few words which are used as transitive verbs as well as intransitive verbs. The ants fought the wasps. Ants is the subject, fought is the verb, and wasps are the object. Similarly, some ants fight fiercely. So the verb is there and no object is there. Rather, this is an adverb. So remember one more thing, that intransitive verbs most of the times end in an adverb. The ship sank rapidly. The bell rang loudly. The train stopped suddenly. So all these all these verbs have an adverb at the end of it. But sometimes there might be some words also, they are the complements, but they are not the objects in any case. So the words may be used as a transitive verb as well as an intransitive verbs. But here is one more thing to remember, that some verbs, for example, come, go, fall, die, sleep, etc., they denote actions which cannot be done to anything. For example, you cannot say that he died. Died on what? If you say died because of something, that is another thing. But he died, he is the subject and died is a verb. The baby slept in the morning. So sleep again is a verb that is used as an intransitive verb. Come on. So in this particular sentence, the subject is assumed because definitely you are saying somebody to come. So come is used as an intransitive verb here. So let's move on to the exercise and let's see what have you understood from it. So certain verbs can be used reflexively, as I have just said, in which you have to assume the subject. Do not forget his name. It means I'm asking you not to forget his name. So the subject is assumed here, but the subject is present. This is a verb and this is the object. So this is another example of transitive verb. I forget his name or I forgot his name. I is the subject, forget is a verb and his name is an object. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
let's see what's your understanding. The sun shines brightly. Sun is the subject, shines is a verb, and brightly is an adverb. So do you think this is an example of transitive verb or an intransitive verb?
Ma'am, it is intransitive.
Yes, you're right. This is an intransitive verb. Sentence number 4. The policeman blew his whistle. Transitive or intransitive verb?
Transitive.
Transitive.
Yes, you are right. Transitive. Sentence number 5. The sun rises in the east.
Intransitive.
Yes, you are very right. Intransitive.
Intransitive. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, intransitive. Sentence number, let's say 10. The moon rose early.
Intransitive, ma'am.
Intransitive, you are very
Intransitive.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
You're right.
Intransitive.
Intransitive. Sentence number 8. I looked down from my window.
Transitive.
Yes,
Transitive.
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 Right. Very right. Sentence number 13. Your book lies on the table.
Transitive.
Transitive.
Right. Sentence
Transitive.
number 14. The fire burns dimly.
Intransitive.
Very good.
Intransitive.
Very good. Intransitive.
Intransitive.
Very good. Sentence number 17. Tell the truth.
Intransitive.
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 Are you sure?
Ma'am, it could be both.
Ma'am,
Like
it's transitive.
which is clear.
It's transitive.
The truth.
Transitive.
Yes, ma'am. Truth is object.
Yes. Basically, I or you, the subject is assumed here. Tell is the verb and truth is the object. What do you want me to tell? You want me to tell the truth. So this is an example of transitive verb. We eat 3 times a day. Transitive or intransitive? Yes, transitive.
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 Very right. This is a transitive verb. So let's see here. Sentence number 25. Baloo wrote a letter to his uncle. Let's say Ali. Ali wrote a letter to his uncle.
I'm transitive.
Right, transitive. So you can see that there are two objects in this sentence. Letter and
Baloo,
uncle.
Uncle and letter. Okay.
G. So letter is a direct object and uncle is indirect object.
Indirect. Indirect.
Right, you are very right. Sentence number 27. I know a funny little man.
Transitive, ma'am.
Transitive. Transitive.
Intransitive.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Intransitive.
How is it so?
Transitive, ma'am. Man,
Who
subject,
is the object?
object.
Funny little man
Man,
object.
Assume, assume
You are right. Yes,
man,
you are
no.
right. I is the subject, no
Yes, ma'am.
is a verb, and
Yes.
little man is an object.
Object.
Ma'am, how can it be object? The verb is not. The verb is
Man
not.
is an object.
Ma'am, the verb is not acting upon it. Object is on what the verb is acting upon.
I is the one who is doing an action, right?
Yes,
So,
ma'am, but
hmm,
ma'am, but in this sense, the verb is not acting upon the funny little man.
okay,
It's just
I
a
got your
compliment.
point. I got your point.
Uh,
Uh,
say that
Ji, beta, basically, when we talk about, sorry, who is saying something?
Salman.
Ji,
I
Salman,
think
please.
say that that I know a funny little man. He's not doing something on him. Like he's not
Hmm,
hurting or doing or
hmm,
you know. This is her
hmm,
point. I think Namir's point.
Yes, ma'am, this is what I'm
hmm.
saying. That the
Ji,
verb is not being acted upon the object
yes,
in this case.
you are right. Beta, basically, there are 5 types of verbs. We have talked about transitive and intransitive verb. Then we have ditransitive verbs. We have auxiliary or helping verbs. Similarly, we have linking verbs. ठीक है? We didn't. मैं लिंकिंग वर्ब्स की तरफ इसलिए नहीं गई कि हो सकता है बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स उसकी वजह से कंफ्यूज हो जाएं. तो लिंकिंग वर्ब्स बेसिकली लिंक द सब्जेक्ट विद द वर्ब विद द ऑब्जेक्ट. दे टेक यू टूवर्ड्स द ऑब्जेक्ट. मैंने आपको वो नहीं बताया था, but the verb is very much present over here, and this is a transitive verb. Let me show you something from here, so that the point might be clear to you. Mm, transitive verb and intransitive verb, and here we might have. Give me a second. Yes, here we have linking verbs. Linking verbs are appear, taste, smell, look, seem, become, etc. They are used to link something with the other thing. But again, they are used as transitive verbs. Okay?
Right.
So
Ma'am.
action is not being, you are very right, the action is not being passed on to the object, but still this verb is a linking verb and that acts as a transitive verb as well.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So let's have a look at number 30. I shall bring my camera with me. I shall bring my camera with me.
Transitive.
Transitive, ma'am.
Transitive, yes. Yes, you are very right, transitive. And which one is the direct object?
My
Why
camera.
camera, ma'am?
Yes, camera. Yes, my camera is the direct object and with me is indirect object. Very right. You speak too loudly.
Intransitive.
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 Are you sure this is intransitive?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You are very right. This is an example of intransitive verb because I is the subject. Sorry, you is the subject. Speak is verb and loudly is an adverb. You are very right. The last one, the dog ran after me.
Transitive.
Transitive.
Transitive, ma'am.
Transitive, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Now, what you have to do is you do not have to write it as an assignment, but this is for your own understanding only. I have shared with you a few verbs which can be used as transitive verbs and which can be used as an intransitive verb. Let me give you one more example. A verb is eat. I can say, I eat a lot. And I may also say, I eat chocolates. So the first one was an example of intransitive verb, I eat a lot. And the second one, I eat chocolates, is an example of transitive verb. You
Okay,
have to
ma'am.
think about some verbs which can be used as a transitive verb as well as intransitive verbs. The verb will remain the same. Write a few sentences, and in this way you would be able to know if you have understood it clearly.